I have no idea what's gonna come of this, but dude, every time I see this dude, I lose my mind. Okay. I want to jump in. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens here.
Iran. Only the that's what America did
Okay,
to
wait.
Iran.
First, let's give you some context. This is a video of mourners at Khamenei's funeral chanting "Death to America." This is the Scott Horton. This was posted in response to showing Scott Horton.
Only the that's what America did to Iran. Only the entire building full of kids. All 167 of them, a few teachers, but virtually all of them little girls.
You know what Iran does? You know what Iran terror cells do? They strap bombs to children, and they send them to American soldiers, knowing that they won't shoot, so that they can blow up the children. You can see there's some stuff I can't describe on here, but they have a method of torturing American soldiers. I can't go into detail, but the general idea is that they take a young boy, and they bring them outside the fence of a military base, and then they do this knowing that American soldiers are not allowed to do anything unless a firing order is given. And they do something to this little boy for the purpose of traumatizing soldiers. Scott Horton here is referring to an incident where we don't know if there was a mistargeting or what happened. We don't know who I'm not sure it was even from the United States. But he's referring to a missile that hit 167 kids. Do you know why? See, what another thing that these terrorists do is they set up shop like 5 feet from a school, knowing that they can't target their missile bases, because hitting the missile bases, hitting the terrorist bases, will hit the school by collateral. We are not shooting children. We are not blowing up children. These terrorists are setting up shop so close to schools so that they can harm to the children.
And another school down the street too, or relatively nearby, where they at the volleyball game where they killed even more. So now think about the Pearl Harbor attack, which Donald Trump himself compared it to Pearl Harbor, out of context, but still, it was a sneak surprise attack in the middle.
I can guarantee you what guarantee you what he's going to say. I can guarantee where he's going with this. He's going to make some bullshit about how there's actually terrorists in the Middle East because of our actions. That we're somehow doing this, and that they're responding to us being evil. And that somehow this is a consequence of American acts. I can almost guarantee you that's what he's going to say. How much you want to bet?
Of negotiations on behalf of a foreign country over a lie, and then they killed a bunch of kids. So like, imagine if at Pearl Harbor, if our story of Pearl Harbor was that they sank all our heroes and drowned them down in their ships, in the hulls, stuck in their hulls down there, but also they wiped out schools full of 180 little girls, the children of those sailors who drowned at Pearl Harbor. Oh, and also they killed FDR that same day too. Oh, and also is a Catholic country, and he's also the Pope. Imagine how we would react to that. Imagine what
I told you that's exactly what's going to happen. They're terrorists. Their purpose is to inflict terror. If you let them just hang around, they do terrorism because they're terrorists. There's no concern about whether or not they're going to do terror. It's whether you get them first, or they do, or they get you first. Like this bullshit from these people, from people like Scott Horton is completely retarded, because you know how long the Middle East has been in conflict? The Middle East hasn't had any significant period of religious peace for the last 3,000 years. They've been in constant war. They haven't seen any peace. Set the Crusades. Do you know what the Crusades came from? Islam was spreading all the way in through Spain. And what they were doing is enslaving Christians against they're enslaving them, holding them against their will, committing vile acts against them and children. And the Crusades responded in kind. But they didn't enslave anyone. They just went and undid all of it. The conflict that he's referring to, saying if we went over there and attacked them, well, what if they attacked us and how would we respond? Oh, so you think that the conflict in the Middle East is a result of our actions, when the conflict in the Middle East is older than we are? They've been doing, the Crusades were resulting of conflict in the Middle East. Middle East problems made them their way all the way into Europe, and the Crusades were in response. That was 1,500 years ago. But this dude wants you to think that somehow our actions are creating consequences coming out of the Middle East, when how many times do I need to say it? Like, how stupid do you have to be to look at the Middle East, who's been in conflict, the Crusades were literally a result of Middle East conflict coming into Europe 1,500 years ago, far older than we are, and he wants you to think that that conflict that started before we even existed is a result of us. That's what this dude wants you to think. Like I said, I called it. I said, he's going to say that the conflict in the Middle East is, look at what we did to them. Imagine how we would respond if they did that to us. They did it to us. This is a result of them doing it to us. This is 1,500 years of our involvement, which is only half the span of the conflict in the Middle East. The conflicts over religion are 1.5 times the age of Christianity. You want to tell me that 3,000 years is a result of us from a nation that's only existed for 250 years? Like, shut the fuck up, retard.
Our story of Pearl Harbor to this day would be, I'll tell you what our story of World War II would be. It would be that we kept nuking them till they were all dead. Is what our story of World War II would be if that's how they had done us at Pearl Harbor. It's just, somehow we just don't really think of it in that context, but we should.
Do you know what they would do if they had nukes? They would perform it. They'd wipe us out. That's why we're in the conflict in Iran. This is how stupid do you have to be to skip this? The reason why we're in Iran is because they have nukes. They're trying. They don't have nukes yet, but they're trying to build them. They're verifiably funding terror cells. You don't need to be that crazy intelligent to put two and two together. Hey, this nation funding terror cells is trying to build nukes. What are they going to do with the nukes? You don't have to be crazy intelligent to figure it out. And he's like, oh, but we would have nuked them. Dude, they're actively trying to nuke us. What? This dude, if you showed him, like, fencing, if you showed him, like, sword fighting from like, 1,500 years ago or whatever, if you showed him, like, two knights fighting, you'd see one guy attack the other the second guy parry it, and he would say the parry was a violent attack. That's what he would say.
If Russia overthrew the government of Canada twice in 10 years because they kept voting wrong, we would invade Canada and nuke Moscow.
Dude, he can't get through a sentence without saying something retarded. We're worried about Canada because they keep bringing people from the United States into Canada and then shouting about how bad we are. What the fuck? There's a fire. I gotta pause for a second.